now we are ready to master MoMA. What I got here is just one single file, which I get from rendering our project. I did it exporting it into 24-bit, and that's what we have right now. Let me play just this part for you, or even this one. Okay, so why I'm playing this part, because it's, as I told you before, this is the busiest part. I mean, the segment, the portion of the track where every instrument play together with the other one. So let me be sure that it's not warped, that because every single time I import something to Ableton Live, I must be sure that my file is not warped at all. So it sounds this way. Okay, lovely. Maybe we can carry and add another color to this bar. Okay, let's do it. First thing first, inside my mastering stage is always a VU meter. Let me play this just to see if our volume is sitting around here, around 0. Now, so I need to turn the volume down around, we're kind of peaking around 0. And again, I'm doing right here because it's the busiest part, okay? The second plugin I got here is a Glue, which is based on an SSL compressor. You already got the same plugin on Ableton Live, so you can use the one from Ableton. You get pretty much the same result of that one. So the only thing I usually do here on this stage is applying a attack of 30 millisecond, a very short release ratio at 4, and kind of bringing my threshold until I get a couple of dB of gain reduction. Okay, that's it. Another thing I do, I just apply this compression from 55 hertz, because I don't want that this compression affect my low end, okay? And activating the peak clip in, just to catch some peaks. Of course, I have 2 dB of gain reduction and making up, adding the volume of 2 decibel here, okay? Okay, another plugin here is from Dangerous Bugs EQ. The only thing I got here, let me remove this one. The only thing I have here is only a cut at 24 decibels. So I'm not boosting anything, I'm not cutting anything right here, just cutting everything below 24, sometimes 30 hertz, okay? Can do around 24. Cool, so really easy. Let's move on to the other one. This is one of my favorite plugins. Unfortunately, it is on UAD. It's an emulation of the Fetzu, and I usually start from this, the tape bus preset. What I'm having here, why I usually choose this this compressor, because it adds a little bit of color and a little bit of warmth to my music. So I have again here just a 1 dB of gain reduction, as you may see here, okay? this is with and this is without. Of course, I'm getting a little bit more volume, of course. Okay, so no problem at all, but we can fix it a little bit later. Okay, now this plugin, unfortunately, my room, the studio where I usually create my tracks, is not properly treated. So this is a curve I usually apply to every single project that I make, because I don't have any bass traps and I don't have any panels that kind of helps me to have a reliable way of listening to my music. So this is a curve which is measured, which is applied to this particular room. So you don't have to use this plugin or this curve EQ inside your project. Okay, so I only use it because my room is not a very good room. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. I got the passive EQ from Native Instruments, and I usually start from this preset, Mastering Clap. Okay, that one, which is kind of boosting some dB in the low end and creating some cut around here, 200, 300 hertz, boosting something at 3K and boosting a little bit more around 16K. Sometimes I decrease that one because it's too much, but let me play it and keeping an eye to the volume, because our volume will be louder every single element, every single plugin I add. Okay, so just let me decrease the volume. There you go. I just want you to take care or pay attention to the low end. These can do absolutely magic for our low end. Let's move on to another plugin I use. Is that one again from Plugin Alliance. The only thing I got inside this plugin is only an enhancement of the width and cutting all the mono frequencies right here. It's a mono maker, so pretty much I got in mono everything below 130 Hz, and in stereo everything from 130 Hz to 20K. Okay, so let me play without and with. Again, the busiest part. Absolutely bigger and fuller. Let's move on to the next one. It's Spectre. Definitely one of my favorite plugins in terms of mixing and adding some harmonic distortion and saturation to my tracks. I love this one, and it can do absolutely miracle for my mixing and my mastering. Let me play this part again with and without Spectre. Without Spectre. With Spectre. What I'm doing here is just enhancing above all the spar and sometimes the mid frequencies and just a little bit of the 800 hertz, which is making a kind of more perceived volume around about the low end, you know. Above all for the small speakers. Okay, this is what I usually do, giving a boost around here to translate my mix better into some small speakers devices. So a boost right here, a boost around 500, 600, and another boost right here. Sometimes I boost this part as well, sometimes not. I feeling that I really need just a little bit boost here as well. Okay, so let's move on to the other one. It's this is a stabilizer already used in the mixing stage. Just increasing again some mid frequencies and high frequencies. Okay, so this is with it definitely sounds better. That's it. Okay, now another plugin from the amazing Ozone. What I have here is a preset that I made, which is basically helps me to enhance the mid range. So I got this preset not using in stereo but in mid and side mode. What I have here is a boosting of 4 dB on a mid side, on a mono side. Okay, let me play this. Probably I'm gonna turn the volume a little bit down here. Okay, let me turn just gain staging properly. Okay, given some proper boost around, in the mid range, in the mono, in the mid side, okay? So I'm giving 4 dB here, a couple of dB here, and pretty much nothing in the low end, because I've already pushed the low end with the passive EQ. And on the side mode, I have pretty much nothing, again, the low side, nothing in the side mode, and sometimes I add a couple of dB here. From 10K, okay? But only in the side. Maybe we can give an extra push in the side mode in this area. Yeah, I can give 1 dB of extra volume over here. Okay, so this is the dynamic. Now doing another thing with the exciter, always from Ozone. You can use the 10, 8, 11, whatever, because they always they kind of sound pretty much the same. What I have here, again, I split the full frequencies into 4 different bands and did a mid-side processing here. Let me show you what I have inside the mid side. I turn this into tape and this into tape, and adding a boost around the mid and the mid area, actually. This bands. And on side mode, I had an extra push around here, okay? Okay, yeah, definitely fuller. Okay, let's move on to the next one. It's a standard clip. If you see my previous courses here at Sonic Academy, you know that I usually use a standard clip to catch the peaks that I've have inside this project. How to do this? I usually get an oscilloscope. This is from Smart Electronics, it's free, so you can use it. And what I have here, just let me deactivate the standard clip at this point. I don't want all those peaks because they kind of ruin my mix when I'm going into the final stage, which is the limiter stage. Okay, so every single peaks will be very heavy on my limiting stage. So let me catch all those peaks. We can kind of use the standard clip around here. Can you see this value? Or those peaks are not good at all. So maybe I can use the standard clip around 3. Okay, let me see again. Let me show you again this value. Okay. Okay, maybe around 3.8. Can you see here this value? Yeah, around 3.7, negative 3.7, negative 3.8. So I'm gonna go with a standard clip here, yeah, it's already done actually. So I can decrease it around negative 3.8 and grab in the other one. Not a big difference. And never touch the kick. This is where the kick sits. This is the kick. So I'm not touching it at all. So I don't get any kind of distortion from the kick. Just taming some terrible peaks which I don't need on my limiter. So time for limiter. I usually share the loads with 2 limiters. This is the first one of my favorite limiter. It's from Oxford limiter. Sometimes I give an extra push here at the input gain, but what I usually do, I always do actually, is enhancing the saturation. This is a kind of overdrive. If you know inflator, this is a kind of value that inflator has as well. So it's kind of generating some harmonic distortion. So without and with. That's another thing actually. So it sounds amazing. So only doing an enhancement in terms of harmonic distortion here, and maybe adding a couple of dB right here to the input gain. Sorry. And the final plugin I have here is an amazing one from Newfangled. This is where I usually get the proper volume, the loud volume, which I want for my tracks. So I usually start from here, and I got an emphasis, transient emphasis around mid and high frequencies. I go into transient, okay, in this session, and I usually give an extra push of the transient, especially in this area from 3K to 18K. So if I deactivate the transient emphasis, sounds definitely punchier. Another thing is adding a little bit of drive, a little bit of distortion. and the final gain, which in general is 2 or 3 dB. We are quite loud right now, as you may see right here. Sometimes we are kind of touching -8, -7 RMS, which is a pretty good volume for this kind of music. And I don't want that my limiter works too hard again, so no more than 1 or 2 dB of gain reduction, okay? And that's it. Our track now is ready to be played inside a club. What else can I say? Just taking the time to say thank you for watching and following this course. Hopefully you learned something good. And if so, or if you have any questions, and if you need to send me any, any kind of feedback, or again, any question are really welcome. You can leave all the questions here inside the Sonic Academy course. I'm pretty sure that they are forwarding me any kind of requests. Let me thank you one by one, and let me thank the Sonic Academy family for having me again. It's always an honor to stay here with you. Thank you very much indeed. Hope you enjoyed it, and see you next time. Thank you.